For years, nay, millennia, mankind has sought to answer the questions of the universe and what lies beyond. However, due to the sheer marvel that is space, whenever we discover something new, we only succeed in raising more questions than we answer. But tonight, we tackle a topic so nebulous, so rife with mystery, that the entire wealth of human endeavor and knowledge and wisdom barely scratch the surface. So join us and let us transform you from uneducated swine into a scholared astrophysicist. On tonight's episode, The Wonders of Space.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Da 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 da.
Two gays walk into a bar. Alright. Let's... Fuck. How about that intro, huh?
Oh, that intro was an intro.
That was an intro. Like, I've seen a lot of intros, and I'm kind of an expert on it. And let me tell you,
Pretty good.
that was one of them.
Yep.
That was absolutely one of them. And let's introduce ourselves.
My name is PJ.
And my name is Tristan.
Yes, and you are listening / watching
The best podcast on the motherfucking planet. Two
Two
gays
gays
walk
walk into
in
a
a
bar.
flippin' bar, boy.
That was so off.
We
but
are
it's
of
okay.
age.
What?
We're of age. Like, they're probably wondering, like, are these hoes old enough to be walking into that bar? And we are. I am
Oh,
23
yes.
to his 21, all right?
20.
I know. I like him young.
Oh my god.
I like him young, boy. Okay, so let's just kind of explain what this situation is. I'm making a not great first impression. Oh, boy, I sound like a perv. Okay,
So,
what's the show?
so a little bit about our
A
show.
little bit about our show.
A little bit about our show. It is a technically educational podcast.
Educational, boo!
I know, right? No.
Aren't educational shows super boring and bland?
Not this one.
What the
because
fuck?
Most educational podcasts seem to, lecture a little bit. But we are going to try to insert as much banter as we possibly can. But we also have to keep in mind, each of us are going to be presenting a topic each
Yes.
week that we do.
I'm going to present a topic this week, and then PJ is going to present a topic next week. And then we're just going to alternate.
Yeah.
That's right. So, like, this week I'm covering Wonders of Space, and PJ's going to be covering something totally different fucking next week.
And we will.
And I tell you, one thing is to be certain. I am fucking excited. Are you?
I am excited.
I'm fucking stoked. All right. You want to just jump right into it?
Yeah, let's jump right in. Galaxy.
Speaking of, let's get right into it, and we're gonna start with some banter before we move on to the show. Before we move on to the the real shit.
Hell yeah.
So, well, let's see. Recently was Christmas. How was your Christmas, PJ?
I mean, my Christmas was pretty good. I got to spend it with you.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all that mattered.
My first Christmas with your family.
Yes.
Pretty rife with Christmas traditions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, your mom literally had a manila folder full of printed out Christmas games.
Yes, I love my mom.
Fill in the blank, word search, just all Christmas related games. And she had a big bag full of little gifts that she was gonna give out to the winners of all the games.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I've never seen such an organized Christmas effort before. I've never had a Christmas traditions that rich.
Yeah, my mom is definitely big on Christmas traditions. I mean, especially year or like these past couple years have been like, you know, even more. Like we usually used to not do as many like Christmas games, but like recently she's been, you know, seeing all the Christmas games and
That's
wanting
awesome.
to do them.
That's a tradition I would love to start. Like, I don't know. I've just always been fascinated with traditions, especially on Christmas time. Like Elf on the Shelf, just cool things that families do. And I just think it's so wholesome, you know? Like, why not?
Yeah,
Why not have something to look forward to in that way?
exactly.
Makes my family seem boring by comparison. Just kidding, not kidding. But not all of Christmas was merry, though, because that night, that Christmas night, I had my first homosexual. No, no, that I had before. I had my first homophobic experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my first homophobic experience on Christmas night, which is quite something. And I kind of wanted to touch on it a little bit because I have some things to say. Because I think I could have handled it a lot better, and I think people might be able to learn from my mistake a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's not that you didn't handle it right or didn't handle it good. I mean, you didn't like chase after him and like scream at him and like, ah, fuck you, you know.
Yeah, I just think that I shouldn't have answered with any negativity. All right, well, let me just go ahead and just lay it out there. We were on our way from your family's house. It's kind of a long drive. I needed gas. We pull into a Casey's parking, a Casey's gas station. We go in and get gas. And, I'm wearing an elf hat all day, and I take it off right before I get out of the car, just instinctively, because I just think I don't really want to draw attention to myself. I had a long day. I don't really want to look weird. But then I realized my hair is a mint green.
Bright.
It is very bright. And my hair is probably going to draw more attention than my hat ever could. And I'm pumping gas as I have that thought. And right as I have that thought, I shit you not, like right then, this SUV that just pulled out of their parking space and they were about to drive off, this guy from the backseat window, he hollers at me and he says, "Your hair looks gay."
Okay.
And I look at him, and my snap reaction is just to throw my hand up and just give him the bird. And if you don't know, this little gesture here, in America at least, it means fuck you. And it's a way to tell someone fuck you without, God forbid, them not seeing you, because that would just be awful. So it's a way to tell someone fuck you without having to shout over at them, and it's quite useful, while you're driving, just other activities if they're really far away, or if you really want to make a statement. Here's the thing, though, I don't think I should have answered with that level of negativity, and I'll finish with what he, with like the other thing he said, and then I'll say why. He drove off. And right before they're about to turn to go on the highway, he yells, "Fucking faggot!" and peels down the highway. And at that point, I'm just absolutely seething. I say just, fuck this. And I just take the gas at the gas pump, but it's still locked. The nozzle is. So I just end up getting gas just all over me. And just a perfect end to to Christmas night. It was really something. That was my first homophobic experience because I'm relatively new to this whole gay thing.
Yeah.
And that was the first time, I've noticed subtle things, just weird looks or, just small things that are really inconsequential. But this is the first time that I've actually been, harassed, because that's harassment 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Someone is unsolicited yelling hateful comments at you, and that's harassment. And if you want to answer that with a big old middle finger, you're well within your rights to do so. It's not that's not a bad thing to want to do.
It just mainly eggs them on a little bit more, it just makes them all laugh and giddy, like, haha, we got him,
They live for it. That's the thing. That's the response they want. They want you to respond with negativity. There's a reason why after I flipped him off, Like, I heard everyone in the car laugh. Like, that's what they were hoping to get, and they got it. And I gave it to them on a silver platter. And I've already told myself, I need to stay fucking close to this mic. I've already told myself, the next time something like that happens, all I'm going to do is just throw up a peace sign. If I have the snap reflex to throw my arm up, hopefully my brain can get to it in time to say, throw up a peace sign. Because I feel like that's not a response they are expecting. And I feel good because I'm not answering positivity. No, I'm not answering negativity with negativity. I'm answering negativity with positivity. And that just, I don't feed that negative energy that they're throwing at me, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not feeding into it. And I've also realized that I just need to grow a thick skin about this, because if we plan on being on the internet and hopefully successful at it, you know, hopefully we get a fan base. That would be really cool. I would be honored.
It would be pretty good. It would be awesome.
If we get to that point, you know, like, there's going to be people who don't like us. You know, the more we attract.
I mean, there's already people that don't like me. I mean, my first school that I went to was almost population of 3,000 kids, and most of the kids that I went to school with did not like me. So
there's always going to be people that don't like you. And
exactly.
I feel like you just need to grow a thick skin about it and just be able to just... Actually, that reminds me of one thing that RuPaul says, and it's something I like to live by, and it's like the best advice I could ever give. Do you know what I'm about to say, PJ?
Yeah.
You want to lay it out?
If them bitches, hold on. If them bitches ain't paying your bills, pay them bitches no mind. That's on period.
And that's on motherfucking period. If them bitches ain't paying your bills, don't pay them bitches no mind.
Exactly.
That's the best advice I could ever give anyone. 1, follow your heart. 2, pay them bitches no mind.
Exactly.
Like,
another thing that you could also take from RuPaul, from a specific drag queen named Jinx Monsoon, something that would help her
I love
not like let things get to her. Right before the judges would, you know, lay out their comments, she would just sit there and whisper to herself, "Water off a duck's back." So it just, you know, all of the comments, all of the negativity just roll off of you like water off a duck's back.
Water off a duck's back. You know
Exactly.
how when a duck gets in the water, it has those feathers that repel water so it doesn't get, you know, soaking wet, because that's not an efficient way to swim. Be just like that. Let the comments roll off you like water off of a duck's back. That's kind of my issue with the whole it gets better thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I agree with the sentiment. I think it's great, and the organization has done fantastic things. Like, I'm not going to take that away from them. Never. But I will say that the idea of just hold out because the world will eventually get better, I don't think that's a good way to handle your problems, is just to tell kids just stick it out and just wait for better days. I think you should change your own mindset, much like how, I told myself I'm not going to flip them off anymore. I'm going to throw up a peace sign or just flat out ignore them. That would be the best thing, easily. I told myself that that's what I'm going to do. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I lost my fucking train of thought. I'm just so overwhelmed with emotion about this, because I really am passionate about it. Like, I really do think that kids should really just prepare themselves that people aren't going to like you, especially if you're different. There are always going to be people that call you a faggot. There are always going to be people that call you names and this and that. And you just got to learn to let it roll off of you, honestly. And don't respond with violence don't respond with violence unless someone's actually trying to fucking hurt you. Like, if that's the case, I'll gladly introduce my fist to their face.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
never throw
I'd
the
love
first
to defend
punch.
myself.
Never throw the first punch. No,
Only-
that's a rule that I live by.
Only fight to like actually defend yourself. Don't get
Yes.
yourself into a physical altercation just because someone is verbally harassing you, because you can just roll that off. Because when you react, what often happens is, they might react in kind, and it might be ugly. Like, people get attacked.
Yep.
So just don't invite it. Is there anything else you want to say on that?
No, I don't think I have anything.
All right, what do you say we get this show on the road? Okay, I had to take my jacket off. It was getting hot in here,
And spicy.
and now it's hotter in here because I took my jacket off.
Hot in here.
So
Take
fucking.
off all your jackets
Oh,
because we are
Oh,
all, you know,
I'm-
decent.
I must also say, PJ is not a crackhead. He just
my God.
really likes to twitch when he sits next to me. Apparently,
Listen,
like we looked at the
listen.
playback, and like PJ was doing all of this.
Listen, I got my hand motions, I got my little face twitches, but
you
know,
gesticulate like a motherfucker.
you have to realize I have had a Bang energy drink and I am on my second cup of coffee.
Yeah, we've had a lot of caffeine between the two of us,
So?
for sure. We've probably had enough caffeine to kill a small horse, I would say,
We're on a
between the two of us. But you know what? That's what we do. To entertain, we put our bodies through hell. All right. Let's talk about what we're looking at here. What do you see, PJ, when you look at this photo?
I see a galaxy.
It looks to be a galaxy, yes. It is the Andromeda Galaxy. And the cool thing about this is it's actually the largest image ever taken by NASA. It's taken by the Hubble telescope. It totals 1.5 billion
Wow.
pixels, and it requires 4.3 gigabytes of space. And it just really just kind of shows you the sheer scope of what we're dealing with here as far as space goes. And I highly suggest looking at this on NASA's website, because they have a lovely video that zooms in on a small portion of this, and you get to see just kind of elucidate the scope there. All right, so the first thing we're going to be talking about space-wise is black holes. We're starting off strong.
Gotta love black holes.
You gotta love a good black hole. Now, tell me, what do you know about black holes?
Well, I know that they suck things into them.
They're basically like a giant vacuum in space, right?
Yes.
And
Vacuum.
let me ask you this. Before tonight, have you seen this photo?
I think I have seen it before.
Yes. It is a very famous photo for sure. This is the first image ever taken of a black hole.
Wow.
It was taken by the Event Horizon Telescope, which uses basically like loads of telescopes from all over the Earth that are international, and they basically convene to turn the whole Earth into a giant telescope that allows us to see supermassive black holes like this. And let me just explain. A black hole is an astronomical object with a gravitational pull so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape it. A black hole's surface, called its event horizon, it defines the boundary where the velocity needed to escape exceeds the speed of light, which is the speed limit of the cosmos. Nothing goes faster than the speed of light, and nothing gets
Except
out.
me.
What? Excuse me. Okay.
Edit this out. Zoom in on my face.
Nothing goes faster than the speed of light except for PJ, and nothing gets out of a black hole,
Exactly.
In-
Except for PJ.
including PJ. Not even PJ can escape a
No.
black hole. That just goes to show you just the sheer scope. Like, even PJ's superhuman.
Even my
ass.
superhuman zoops can't get me out of the black hole.
Superhuman zoops. You just superhumanly zoop on out of there. Out of a black hole. Not even Superman himself could zoop out of a black hole. I tell you what, nothing can escape. Actually, Superman probably could. He could probably get out of his
I was like,
gravitational pull.
Superman lives on Krypton.
But the thing is, like, once...
His only weakness
I guess
is
you're right. Like,
kryptonite.
the gravity... Like, I know part of what makes Superman Superman is that Krypton is different. So, like, on Krypton, they're kind of normal. But when it comes to Earth, just the way Earth is different than living on Krypton, so he's like a superhuman.
It's because on Krypton they would be a lot normal, but because they are on what?
Talking to the mic?
I am.
Oh, sorry.
So Krypton actually has more than one sun, which is pretty much the only reason, right? Isn't that the thing?
I thought they had multiple suns, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it like Krypton has multiple suns, and that's why, like on Earth, since we only have one, they don't have as many suns, right? I don't know. I'm not a comic book nerd, really. So.
No. It does have to do. Okay, no. So I do.
It's the color of the sun, right?
Superman gets his power from. Yes. Okay. Superman gets his power from the yellow sun. If he's under a red sun, he is not superpowered. So he gets. Yeah. So like I've actually seen it in the comics. He will fly up to the sun, kind of like get supercharged up, and then go back and just be like extra badass.
Because the red sun is what keeps him powerless.
So depending on how close Superman was to a yellow sun, he could fly out of a black hole's gravitational pull.
Unless, of course, there's a red sun or multiple red suns in the black hole.
Yes, it's the red sun that fucks up Superman's shit. Now, yes. That's why, that's why General Zod, whenever he comes to Earth, he's also like basically Superman, but he's just another Kryptonian. All right, man. We got a little first refresher course in comic book history. Sick. So, Superman could probably escape the black hole, but he could not escape it once he is inside. Now, let me just kind of explain what this picture is, though, because you're just looking at like a donut of light, basically. Yeah. But that black circle in the center, that is not the black hole. You can't see a black hole because they don't emit any light. What you are seeing is a hot glowing star being sucked into the black hole. So that blackness in the middle is just the absence of this star existing. It's just like just being vacuumed up. And it's fucking crazy. Like, and this image actually right here, this black hole is in the center of a galaxy, Messier 87, and it is 55 million light years away.
Wow.
It's just so massive that we were able to use the strongest telescope on the fucking Earth, basically using Earth as a telescope to take the first photograph of a black hole ever. And it's honestly like, it's like looking into the gates of hell, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord.
This is the white light.
Is it just me, or is just how, like, the image itself is just vague? It's just a ring of light.
If you look at it a specific way, it kind of just looks like an eyeball.
It looks like a Cheerio.
Oh, yeah.
Now I can't unsee the fact that it looks like a Cheerio, but really, it's a little scary to look at this photo when you really think of like what this is. And there are just billions of these all throughout the galaxy. We have found so many. There's two main classes of black holes that have been extensively observed, being stellar mass black holes and supermassive black holes, which is what we just looked at, was a supermassive black hole. Stellar mass. Oh my God. Can you not make my whole black hole presentation perverted, please? You we are good Christian boys. I cannot believe you would take it to that level. You dirty dog. Two main classes of black holes. My God. The first one is stellar mass black holes. These are 3 to dozens of times the sun's mass, and they're just spread all throughout the Milky Way galaxy. And as a solar mass is basically a unit of measurement that we use. It's the equivalent to our solar system's sun. That's what a solar mass is. So the average stellar mass black hole can range from 3 to dozens of our suns, while a supermassive black hole can have a mass of up to 100,000 to billions of solar masses. And they're found mostly in the center of most big galaxies. astronomers have long suspected that an in-between class may exist, weighing like 100 to more than 10,000. While a handful of candidates have been identified as to what a intermediate mass black hole may be, the most convincing example came when, now this is a mouthful, the National Science Foundation's Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory.
Jesus Christ.
Say that 5 times fast. LIGO for short. What LIGO detected was gravitational waves. Okay, now fucking get this. You're going to love this. From a merger of 2 stellar mass black holes. This event was dubbed GW 190521. That burp fucked me up.
Honestly, I feel like I felt that burp through the microphone.
Like you felt it in your throat.
Yeah. That's what she said.
This. Oh my God, you're such a fucking. Okay. This event, dubbed GW, bunch of numbers, resulted in a black hole weighing 142 suns. So, that's an intermediate mass black hole. That's fucking crazy. 2 stellar mass black holes basically came together in the cosmos and just combined. Like, it didn't result in some big fucking explosion that wiped away everything. Like, it just made a bigger black hole. That's fucking crazy.
Damn.
Man, like, God, science is so interesting. A stellar mass black hole forms. Would you like to know how a stellar mass black hole forms?
Yeah.
How do you think it forms?
A stellar mass black hole?
How do you figure it forms?
From stellar masses.
Man, that's a great guess. A stellar mass black hole forms when a star with more than 20 solar masses, so it's got to be big, when it exhausts the nuclear fuck, that word is hard for me to say. The nuclear fuel in its core and collapses under its own weight. The collapse triggers a supernova explosion that blows off the star's outer layers. But if the crust core contains more than about 3 times the sun's mass, no known force can stop its collapse to a black hole. So basically, once it blows off that shell and the core is big enough, nothing can stop this thing from becoming a black hole, not even Superman. Wow. Now, how supermassive black holes form is poorly understood, but we do know that they've been around since literally the dawn of the universe. And in fact, we just looked at one. We looked at a galaxy, the one that's at the center of galaxy M87, the one that there's an actual photograph of. It weighs more than 6 billion solar masses. 6 billion. Its event horizon, its boundary that you have that will suck you in, extends so far it could encompass much of our solar system out to well beyond the planets.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty sobering fact when you the Earth could just cease to exist in the blink of an eye. We would probably detect it coming from years and years away. It's unlikely that would sneak up on us, but it can happen. Like a solar flare from our own sun could just wipe us out completely. You know, we're close enough to the sun for that to happen, and it could happen any day now. Oh, and honestly, it kind of scares me a little. I don't know how to feel about it. Another important discovery related to black holes came in 2015 when scientists first detected gravitational waves. That was the black hole merger that LIGO detected, where they merged. And believe it or not, the merging of those black holes happened 1.3 billion years ago.
Wow, that's a while.
That's a fucking long time.
That's a long-ass term.
Although light itself can't escape a black hole's event horizon, the enormous tidal forces in its vicinity cause nearby matter to heat up to millions of degrees, so it gets super hot around a black hole, and it starts to emit radio waves and X-rays. Some of the material orbiting even closer to the event horizon may be hurled out, forming jets of particles moving near the speed of light. And jets from supermassive black holes can extend hundreds of thousands of light years into the space. Hundreds of thousands of light years. Now, this is all fun. Like, black holes are so interesting, you know. Like, you can like merge them and they get bigger, and like black holes. Wow. But I know what you're thinking. What would happen if you were to get sucked into one of these bad boys?
I would love to find out.
What would actually happen to your body? Well, I actually have a fun little diagram here that really just kind of elucidates this whole question and just kind of puts it to rest. All right. So let me explain this to you. As you fall towards the black hole, as depicted in our first illustration, as you fall towards the black hole, the gravity you experience begins to grow. The gravity at your feet starts to become greater than the gravity at your head by ever-increasing margins. In other words, you're going to get taller.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that bad. You're like average height right now.
Finally.
You like you'd love to add some inches, right?
Yes.
You know? Come on. That's literally not what I meant.
I'm sorry.
Dude, your family's going to listen to this, and I'm not cutting that part out. I fucking refuse. Nope. You made your bed, you lie in it.
It's fine. Your family's going to be listening to it, too.
I don't fucking care. That's all right. They should know who I am at this point. They should know I'm a fucking wreck. But anyways, like, yeah, you'd love to add some height to you, right?
Yes.
You know, like about how tall would you like to be?
I would like to be...
we're both average height. We're both 5'9".
At least 6'3".
6'3"? Wow, okay.
At least.
That would be weird to have a boyfriend that just towers over me. They're kind of nice, though.
I was actually told...
I'd get to wear your jacket.
Oh, my God. I was actually told, like, when I was a freshman... wait. Hold on. Yeah, I was told as a freshman in high school that I was going to reach the height of 6'3" by the time I was a senior. And I did not grow a single fucking inch.
That didn't happen?
No. I didn't grow at all since my freshman year of high school, so...
So you're not 6'3" right now?
No, I wish I was.
God, that's such a bummer. But you would be if you went towards a black hole.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? So that's all you got to do. Folks, if you want to get taller, just do this. But there is a catch. The force will eventually exceed the intermolecular bonds that keep your flesh together in one human form. So basically, your body will snap in half. It'll bifurcate, as depicted in our third illustration.
So what you're telling me is that not only will I get taller, but I'll also die?
No, there'll be two of you. There'll be two PJs.
What?
More PJ. And actually, not only will there be two PJs, shortly after that, each half of you will bifurcate as well. So you'll be 4 pieces, and then 8, and then 16, then 32, all the way down to 210, just funneling down towards this black hole, as depicted in our fourth illustration. And as you come down in our fifth illustration, your body, towards that singularity, your body will funnel down into a narrower and narrower zone. Your pieces will come together left and right. They'll smush together, but not like top to bottom. So you basically just get extruded through the fabric of space like toothpaste through a tube.
Wow.
And just to summarize black holes for everybody, a black hole is a physical object in space like everything else. It has a mass. It's made up of a tiny but massive point, if that makes sense, called the singularity, where gravity and density alike are just infinite. And there's a line beyond which everything, including light, can only fall into that tiny point, and that line is called the event horizon. And sometimes some glowing stuff will orbit around it called an accretion disk. All right. So let's move on and let's talk about white holes. Now,
much different than a black hole.
Much different than a black hole, okay? Basically the opposite. And it's the opposite in many sense. Black holes suck things in, and white holes shoot them out. They just spit out matter. And there's also a way in which black and white holes are different in that black holes exist, and white holes don't. At least not yet.
Oh.
The existence of white holes is essentially just a theory that some scientists have. Physicists describe a white hole as a black hole's time reversal, like how when you play a bouncing ball in reverse, like a falling ball, it just looks like a bouncing ball when it comes back up, like a up a stair steps or something. That's essentially what a white hole is, just a black hole but in reverse. So like a black hole's event horizon is a sphere of no return. A white hole's event horizon is a boundary of no admission. It's like space-time's most exclusive club. And it's a...
I would love to go to a club. That sounds like a fun club. The White Hole.
Oh my God.
An idea?
Dude,
for
a club? Have you ever been to a club? Like a gay club?
I've never been to a club.
We should go to a gay club. Or just any club, honestly.
Any club would be fine. We
Like,
don't
I don't
have any clubs
discriminate.
here because this freaking town is boring.
We live in a pretty small town. Yeah, there's nothing really like fun, and
small.
the gay scene is non-existent.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
small not only in actual size, but small and minded as well.
Yeah, as described earlier. But honestly, I feel like that's just gonna happen no matter where I live. Like, basically, there's gonna be bigots everywhere. You know, you just gotta kind of put up with that. If large white holes did form, they probably wouldn't hang around too long. Any outgoing matter would collide with the matter in orbit, and the system would collapse into a black hole. A long-lived white hole, I think, is very unlikely, says Hal Haggard, a theoretical physicist at Bard College. So, honestly, it kind of just shared the fate of wormholes, just being a theoretical possibility, but not really a reality, you know? And I just thought it would be an interesting thing to touch on. All right, so now I move on to the wonders of our very own solar system. Are you excited?
Yes.
Got this super fucking cute little photo.
There was always that song like in like elementary school that you would sing to remember all the planets. Like,
I was terrible at remembering the order of these planets. Still am.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Tiny Pluto, even though Pluto's not a planet anymore.
Unfortunately, Pluto is not on this diagram.
Poor
Sad
Pluto.
though it may be. You know,
If you've seen Rick and Morty, Pluto is a planet.
If you've seen Rick and Morty, yeah. I really like those old rhymes, like girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider. You know, like, what's the second part of that? What's the other?
Boys go to Mars to get more candy bars.
That's fucking so lame. We can make that better. Boys go to Mars to contract SARS. No, that's bad.
Boys go to Venus to get more peanut.
Boy. Boys go to Uranus to, well, you know. We just don't rhyme
Boys
that
go
one.
to Uranus to go to Venus, if you know what I mean.
Boys go to Saturn to... Moving on. This is a rendering of Utopia Planitia on Mars. Now, what the fuck is this? This is basically a giant
Pimple
impact
on my face.
basin. No, it is a giant impact basin, the largest in the solar system. It features a crater that stretches more than 2,000 miles, 3,300 kilometers for you Europeans out there. Actually, for you just non-Americans out there. You're so fucking, oh my God. Across Mars' northern plains. It's believed that it's from an impact that occurred early in Mars' history, and it's likely that Utopia may have at one time hosted an ancient ocean. Now, this is exciting, okay? Because this actually lends credibility to the possibility of us gathering resources from Mars, if not actually colonizing eventually. In 2016, an instrument on NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter added weight to the theory that this may have been an ocean by detecting large deposits of subsurface water ice beneath the impact basin. It's estimated as much water as the volume of Lake Superior may lie in deposits, like 3 to 33 feet below the surface.
Wow.
Such an easily accessible resource could prove enormously beneficial for future human-based missions to the Red Planet. This deposit is probably more accessible than most water ice on Mars because it's at a low latitude and it's in a flat, smooth area where landing a spacecraft would be easier than on some other areas that may have buried ice. So that's just goes to show we may be able to land on Mars and actually fucking start setting up shop there. Now, what is this, you may wonder?
Is it the moon?
It is not the moon. This is the asteroid Vesta. This is Vesta. But the cool thing about this asteroid is that it is home to the solar system's tallest mountain. We're just going through all the geographical wonders of our solar system. The Earth doesn't really have the most of anything. I mean, most life, most water, most oxygen. Doesn't really have the most as far as shit like this is concerned. Oh, especially one later. Oh, you're going to fucking die. But this one's pretty fucking cool, too. It's the tallest mountain, centered within an impact crater called Resilvia. This 14-mile-high, unnamed peak could easily fit 2 stacked Mount Everests.
Wow.
This mega mountain is believed to have formed 1 billion years ago after an impact with an object at least 30 miles across. The resulting force carved out a huge amount of material, some 1% of Vesta, that was just ejected into space and scattered across the solar system. In fact, it's estimated that some 5% of all space rocks on Earth originated from this asteroid, from that impact.
Interesting.
Just knocking off a chunk of Vesta, 5% of all our space rocks that we have came from this asteroid.
Damn.
Which thus joins only a handful of solar system objects beyond Earth, including Mars and the Moon, from which scientists actually have a sample. Would you climb this mountain on this asteroid?
I mean, if I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
a
even
little
know
more accessible.
I don't even know if I would climb an actual mountain.
I'm just trying to think. Let me start out small. Like, would you Would you climb Mount Everest?
I don't know.
It feels like climbing Mount Everest would be an exclusive club, you know? I mean,
if there was an exclusive club at the top, I'd be climbing that mountain in heels.
Just like having climbed Mount Everest seems like it would be this really exclusive thing. It would feel really cool and accomplished, and I would, thousands of people have done it. I wouldn't be like the first or like the first dozen or like the first 100, but I don't know if thousands have done it, but I know a lot of people have done it. But it's so expensive. Don't have the money for that. You have to set aside so much of your time, and you may die. Like, you may actually die.
There's a very big chance.
There's like there are corpses on Mount Everest that are just frozen in time, like Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii.
Yeah. So
something tells me that this mountain, which actually doesn't have a name, oddly enough, would be fucking impossible to climb, to be honest, even with a guide. I don't know how the weather is like on this asteroid Vesta here, but let's name this mountain. What do you want to name this mountain? It's super tall. It is 14 miles high. What do we name it? This name of this giant mountain. We can call it Giant Rock Boy.
Giant Rock Boy.
Giant rock spire. Giant rock tall thing, building thing. Oh, no. I got it. Giant rock, tall rock. Do you like it?
Giant rock, tall rock?
Giant rock, tall rock.
Okay.
Because it's giant and it's tall and it's a rock. It's so a rock.
It's a giant rock and a tall rock.
It is so much a rock that you say rock twice. It's that much a rock.
It's not just a rock.
And
it's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
A rock. And that is the motherfucking word on that, all right? I just had to lay that out for you. To put to scale, Mars's Valles Marineris.
Marinara?
I probably butchered that. To put that into perspective just how grand this canyon is, imagine our Grand Canyon, 4 times deeper, stretching from New York City to Los Angeles, all across the fucking U.S., and also, like, that much deeper. You know how deep the Grand Canyon is. This one stretches more than 2,500 miles across the surface of Mars.
Oh my God!
This massive canyon, spanning more than 2,500 miles. It's the largest in the solar system, and diving up to 23,000 feet or 7,000 meters into the red planet surface. According to NASA, Valles Marineris is likely a tectonic crack in Mars' crust that formed as the planet cooled. Another theory suggests it was a channel created by lava flowing from a nearby shield volcano. Regardless, its varied geography and likely role in channeling water during Mars's wet years will make it an attractive target for human-based missions to the red planet. I bet like the view from one of them canyons is pretty spectacular too.
Oh yeah.
If the Grand Canyon is nice, imagine standing on that puppy.
You wouldn't. I mean, you really wouldn't even like see the other side, and especially, you would just be like, "Oh, that's a giant fucking hole."
You would just see the horizon. You
yeah.
wouldn't see the end of it. You know.
Yeah.
Just try not to fall in. And this next bit is Saturn's second largest moon, and I am not sure how to pronounce it, but I'm pretty sure you pronounce it enchiladas. Or at least that's what it looks like. It could be enceladus, but I like enchiladas.
We'll call it enchiladas.
Saturn's second largest moon is a geologically active world. It's covered in thick ice. It's home to a large subsurface ocean of liquid water.
Oh.
Estimated to be about 6 miles deep. There's water. There's water on this moon. Some of its most distinctive features, however, are its spectacular geysers, of which we have here on Earth, in Yellowstone and other places. We've discovered more than 100 of them on enchiladas, and they erupt from cracks in its surface, and they send dramatic plumes into space. So these are like mega geysers. Of course they're mega geysers because they're in space. In 2015, NASA sent its Cassini spacecraft cruising through one of these plumes, revealing, now this is crazy, revealing salt water rich in organic materials. In particular, Cassini detected the presence of molecular hydrogen, a chemical characteristic of hydrothermal activity. For a microbiologist thinking about energy and microbes, hydrogen is kind of like the gold coin of energy currency, at least according to Peter Jurgis, a deep sea biologist at Harvard. If you had to have one chemical compound coming out of a vent that would lead you to think there's energy to support microbial life, hydrogen is at the top of the list. As such, enchiladas' beautiful geysers may point the way to the most habitable spot for life in our solar system beyond Earth.
Wow.
And it's honestly quite something. While the so-called peaks of eternal light on Earth's moon are a misnomer, they're nonetheless impressive. First postulated by a pair of astronomers in the late 19th century, the term applies to specific points on a celestial body almost perpetually bathed in sunlight. While a detailed lunar topography collected by NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter did not discover any points on the moon where light shines unabated, it did find 4 peaks where it occurs more than 80 to 90% of the time. So basically, there's some spots on the moon that the sun just bathes almost all the time perfectly, and that matters because if humans want to colonize on the moon, which, spoiler alert, we kind of do, it's likely the first bases will be founded on these peaks because of the abundant solar energy. So, that matters, and it's thought that only the planet Mercury shares this characteristic with our moon. Only Mercury has these sort of peaks of eternal light. And the image shown here is just captured by the Apollo 11 spacecraft, a famous photo of the Earth rising above the moon's horizon.
It's really cool.
It is really cool.
All of you
love this photo.
All of you non-video watchers.
All you non-video watchers,
better
you
watch
fucking
the
asshole.
fucking YouTube
Fucking
video.
plebs.
So you can see all these beautiful and amazing pictures,
Fucking
sometimes featuring art of our very own Tristan here.
Hell yeah! What the fuck are you doing? I'm so offended. I'm so offended. And why don't you subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're at it? That would really make me feel better.
Exactly.
Exactly. Ooh. Oh, I'm just gonna let this play. Little video. This is the Great Red Spot of Jupiter. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of the red spot on Jupiter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very famous. You see it in all the illustrations of Jupiter, but unfortunately, it might not be around for much longer.
What?
Actually, within our lifetime.
Oh wow.
Within our lifetime, it may go away. And okay, let's just dial it back. The Great Red Spot of Jupiter is an anticyclonic storm. It goes counterclockwise. It's roughly 1 to 3 times as wide as Earth itself. So this thing could amass loads of Earths, and it's just a small spot on Jupiter. While there's no definitive answer as to what caused the Great Red Spot, we know one thing: it's shrinking. Recorded observations taken in the 1800s measured the storm at about 35,000 miles, or 4 times the diameter of Earth. When Voyager 2 in 1979 flew by Jupiter, it had reduced to a little over twice the size of our planet.
Wow.
Yes. In fact, it's possible that perhaps over the next 20 or 30 years, the Great Red Spot will disappear completely. In a decade or two, it'll become the Great Red Circle, and then eventually just the Great Red Memory.
Oh.
Jupiter.
Come on, Jupiter.
I feel so bad that
Look at that fucking. That's
I joked about
amazing.
people getting stupider on your planet.
That's beautiful.
It's a giant storm. It's just a fucking like a cosmic hurricane. That's just. It's a really actually cool video. Just seeing the surface of Jupiter.
Is
oh
it
my
like an
god!
actual video like of it, or is it? Like
I think so. I'm pretty sure. I think this is. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm fucking mesmerized.
Right? Ooh. Oh. Sorry about that. Nowhere in our solar system are total solar eclipses, which is our next cosmic wonder, so perfectly experienced as from our very own Earth. That's the next wonder of our solar system, right here on Earth. As witnessed from North America in August of 2017, this phenomenon occurs when the moon passes between Earth and the sun. During totality, the lunar disk appears to be perfectly shield the sun's entire surface, leaving only its fiery atmosphere exposed. Don't look at that shit with your eyes. Don't with your uncovered eyes. You have to look with your eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
I
Don't
remember-
use your eyes to look at it.
I actually remember seeing that, like the actual like eclipse or whatever from school. Like we just like completely interrupted class and like sat outside.
I
with,
would
like,
fucking
those,
hope
like,
you interrupt class. That's
well,
way
the-
more interesting.
Well, I know those like we just sat outside with those sunglasses or like those pieces of glass that you can like see like look at the sun through. It was pretty cool. It was very interesting.
Now, Earth is lucky in a lot of ways. We're kind of at a perfect cosmic equilibrium, which is why we're able to host life this efficiently. And the eclipse being as perfect as it is no different. It really just boils, like, the fact that these two differently sized celestial objects line up perfectly, it just boils down to both math and a bit of luck. While the moon's diameter is about 400 times smaller than the sun's, it's also 400 times closer. This creates the illusion in the sky of both objects being the same size. The moon, however, is not static in its orbit, of course. A billion years ago, when it was about 10% closer, it would have blocked the entirety of the sun. But 600 million years from now, at a rate of 1.6 inches per year, 4 centimeters, the moon will have drifted far enough away so that it will no longer cover the sun's shell. Yeah. In a very short 600 million years, at a rate of 1.5 inches a year.
Very, very short time.
God, dude. Ugh, that's going to be a sad day when that happens.
Right?
Luckily, we will not be here, and neither will humans. Honestly, I'd say the human race probably has a good, 10 years left, to be honest with you. In other words, we're lucky enough to have evolved when we did to view this temporary wonder of the solar system. You can catch the next one from North America in April 2024.
Ooh.
And it happens relatively often. North America is a great spot to view eclipses. Like we get to see them a lot.
Yeah,
which is great. I ain't made. Ooh.
I ain't made.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Saturn's rings, the next celestial wonder, spans an estimated 240,000 miles. They're composed of 99.9% pure water ice, dust, and rock. Despite their size, they're extremely thin, ranging from only 30 to 300 feet in thickness. Which, when you think about like a cosmic thing, that's really, really small.
Yeah.
Like super small. The rings are believed to be very old, dating back to the formation of the planet itself 4.5 billion years ago, while some believe they are leftover material from Saturn's birth. The rings are still, others theorize they may be the remains of an ancient moon that was ripped apart by the immense planet's tidal forces.
Wow.
While Saturn's rings are gorgeous, they're also something of a mystery. For instance, the Cassini spacecraft that we covered earlier, it burned up in September 2017. Before then, it collected data showing the planet's closest D-ring was raining 10 tons of material into its upper atmosphere every second. So it's just fucking funneling this. Just funneling this matter. Even stranger, the material was made of organic materials, not the expected mix of ice, dust, and rock. Okay, now this one was the one I'm most excited to show you. Okay, because I think this one actually has potential to be really fun. Because we could go here and do this activity I'm about to describe to you. Okay? Now, let's fucking go as our next vacation. Where we're going is we're going to the Verona Rupez, a huge cliff face located on Uranus's moon Miranda. It just has a moon named Miranda. That's sick. It's the tallest cliff in the solar system, as much as 20 kilometers deep. If you jumped off it, you'd fall for 12 minutes, and you could still survive. If you jumped off this 12-mile high cliff. Like, for the sake of comparison, the tallest straight vertical drop on Earth is generally agreed to be Canada's Mount Thor, where the greatest vertical drop is just 1.25 kilometers. But here's the crazy thing. Because Miranda is so much smaller than Earth, its gravity is far weaker. That means any space explorer crazy enough to jump off the cliff would fall for over 12 minutes before reaching the ground. So basically, jump off this cliff and just coast on down. It's like a zip line, okay? You could listen to Bohemian Rhapsody twice.
Wow.
And still have some leftover time.
Yeah.
And you may not die.
Cool.
And I think the possibility of
and
not dying
if you did die, you would have been able to live the rest of your life just in that little bit listening to Queen. And that's the only thing that matters.
Just listening to Queen, feeling the cosmic breeze blow your beautiful, beautiful locks back.
Exactly. And then once you reach the bottom, if you actually live, you're just like, damn it, why didn't I die?
Like, that's the way I want to go out. So by the time we're old, hopefully we'll be bajillionaires, and we'll be able to afford a trip to the cliff face of Verona Rupez. And we'll be able to jump off Miranda, and it's going to be glorious.
Hell yeah.
May kill us, but it also may not.
Oh.
And if we, like, layer up, I'm sure we'd be fine, if I'm being real. You could just fucking layer up. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about the effects of space. What would happen if you went to space without a spacesuit?
You would fucking die?
You would fucking die. What do you generally think when you think of, I'm going to go to space, and I'm not going to wear a spacesuit because I'm a dumbass? What do you think will happen to you?
Well, I know that, like, isn't there just, like, hold on. Isn't it kind of like,
What happens to one in space, in the vacuum of space? What do you think happens?
Well, I mean, I would assume, like, since there's so much pressure, you would, like, trying to find the word.
A lot of people think you explode in space. You just eventually just explode because of the pressure.
Is that not true?
Do you think that's true?
I mean, I'm not sure. I've been
Well,
proven
I'm
wrong.
about to tell you, it ain't true, boy.
Ooh.
The myth that you would explode in space is actually untrue. Let me break it down for y'all. The vacuum of space will pull the air from your body. So if there's air left in your lungs, they'll rupture. And oxygen in the rest of your body will expand. You'll balloon up to twice your normal size. Man, I should have drawn a diagram for this one. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Ugh, man. Too little, too late. That sucks. That'd be so fun. Because basically, you won't explode. Because your skin is elastic enough to hold you together. So you'll basically be this massive puffball floating through space.
Oh, my God.
Any exposed liquid on your body will begin to vaporize. So will the surface of your tongue and eyes. They'll begin to boil. Without air in your lungs, blood will stop sending oxygen to your brain. You'll pass out after about 15 seconds. Yeah, so within 15 seconds, you'll basically just balloon up, and you're basically dead after 90 seconds from asphyxiation. So 15 seconds, you're unconscious. 90 seconds, you're dead. It's also very cold in space. You'll eventually freeze solid. Depending on where you are, that could take like 12 to 26 hours. If you're close enough to a star, you'll just be burnt to a crisp, you know?
Yeah.
You'll just kind of float into its way and just kind of crisp up there like a fucking... Like a French fry let in the fryer too long. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to do that around here. No, we don't overcook our French fries.
No, we
Each
don't.
fry is a commodity.
Yes, we
And
got to
do not take
shave
it
it.
for granted.
We have to shave it.
I don't know.
We have to savor the French fry.
I don't know what the fuck made me want to say that. You'll eventually freeze solid, though, or you'll be burnt to a crisp. Either way, your body's just gonna like remain for like a long time if you don't just get destroyed by something. Gut bacteria will start to eat you from the inside out, but not for long. It'll take a long time for that to happen. You'll decompose very slowly, and I mean very slowly. You could be floating in space unchanged for millions of years.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? And this photograph here is actually not someone helplessly floating in space, but I love this photo so much. It's actually one of my favorite photos, and I wasn't for sure not if the photo was real because it's just so epically entertaining to me. But this is actually Bruce Mccandles in 1984, the first untethered spacewalk.
That would be frightening.
And I know, right?
Oh my God, just imagining it, I'm just like...
He actually died very recently. He died at 90.
Oh.
Yeah, but R.I.P. He will be missed.
R.I.P. Rest in...
His legacy is the funniest, best, most entertaining photo I have ever seen. It just makes me like think it has a caption like "This is fine," or just like just something like that, like like the dog in the flaming house, like
Yes.
you know what, I'm alright. I am okay. The effects of space do different things to the body when you're not exposed directly. Since gravity isn't tugging downwards on your bones, astronauts in space can gradually grow up to 3% taller. So really, I mean, if you want to get taller, you don't really have to go to a black hole. Just like go into space as an astronaut, you're going to get taller.
Yeah.
Nearly 2 inches for a typical seafarer. That's actually kind of crazy.
2 inches do actually make a difference.
I hate to break it to you, though. That newfound height does come with a price. An astronaut in 0G can lose bone density up to 10 times faster than a 90-year-old suffering from osteoporosis on Earth.
Damn.
After months of space travel, brittle bones can break from even a minor fall. Muscle strength can drop drastically too. So being in space, being in that environment changes you drastically, especially as we're going to elucidate further with our next example, Scott versus Mark Kelly. Now, without looking at the name tags, who is Scott, who is Mark? Can you guess?
Just feeling
They are
off of
twins.
vibes.
Of the vibes.
I'm gonna say Scott on right, Mark on left.
You are so wrong. That's fucking opposite. Oh my god, you fail. You get a failing grade, sir. That's
fine.
Scott there, Mark
I failed
there. How could
mostly
you?
everything.
Really? Isn't it obvious, them being twins? My god. With Scott and Mark Kelly, NASA had an unprecedented chance to compare two people who share nearly the same genetic information and similar life experiences. Scott flew for 340 consecutive days on the ISS, the International Space Station, during the study, and has a lifetime total of 520 days in space. Mark has flown in space for 54 days, spread over 4 relatively short space shuttle flights. So Scott's been in space, but not as much as Mark. And Mark has more patches on his little jacket there. So he's actually like a very, very accomplished person.
Scott
he's
has
written.
More, you mean?
Didn't I say Scott?
You said Mark. I'm pretty sure.
Oh well, fuck me. Scott is way more accomplished. He has a lot more credit to his name. He has a lot more street cred. Like, he's written several best-selling books.
Even though they're like, you know, the same age and twins, like Scott actually looks a bit younger, actually.
Honestly,
Almost.
though,
just slightly.
He's kind of like the bad boy of the group. Do you think that breeds animosity between the pair? That, like, Mark kind of resents Scott a little bit? Or do you think he's cool? Because he works for NASA, he's probably doing fine for himself.
I don't think that he would really resent him.
I mean, like, what if he's just secretly seething? Like, I want to be the famous one. You know, like, he's just standing in front of the mirror, like, why am I not pretty? You know?
Oh my god.
And, like, Scott's just over there enjoying all the women and wealth and accolades that Mark could ever hope to achieve, and he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get the same recognition. He just doesn't get any respect, honestly, and it just kind of weighs him down. It like weighs on his psyche a little bit, and you can tell like he looks older because of it. It's like it's taking a toll on his health. He's just stressed out.
Stressed.
And on that note,
stressed and pressed.
They did a test between these two. Basically, Scott spent a shit ton of time in space, and Mark did not, and they wanted to test the differences since they have a similar genetic makeup, and the conclusion is that space changes your genes. For 25 months, 10 research teams subjected the twins to a battery of tests, including taking samples of blood, urine, and feces before, during, and after the spaceflight. Says Susan Bailey, a radiation cancer biologist. She said, the twin study is the most comprehensive view we've ever had of the response of the human body to spaceflight. Mark ate, drank, and did whatever he wanted, whereas Mark was subject to a strict diet and exercise regime.
You just said Mark twice.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They look the same. Mark ate, drank, and did whatever he wanted, and Scott was subject to a strict diet. You would think that like they would at least have the same diet and exercise.
Yeah.
That way like every other factor is a control, and the only contributing factor is the space, right? That's what I would think. But I mean, like, I'm not trying to tell NASA how to do their job or whatever, but you would think you would kind of make everything even, so that the effects of space are a lot more clear. But I don't know. I'm gonna fuck my drag.
Fuck my drag.
Does that sound good? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. Scott's body experienced a number of changes that mostly reversed themselves once he returned to Earth, but they are interesting nonetheless. One genetic change that did largely persist 6 months after Scott returned to Earth affected his chromosomes. Parts of them inverted or flipped end to end. That leads to DNA damage and might be linked to the high amounts of radiation he experienced while in space. Many of the caps at the ends of Scott's chromosomes, called telomeres, also mysteriously lengthened during spaceflight. That's the opposite of what was expected, because telomeres shorten with age, and spaceflight stresses the body in much the same ways aging does, so it was rather peculiar that they would actually get longer. Scott's telomeres, they did shorten back to their regular length 48 hours after returning to Earth, and they eventually became even shorter than that. And that could increase his risk of cardiovascular disease or certain types of cancers. They are still alive and well, so Mark hasn't offed himself from not living up to the family legacy. So that's good. Honestly, Mark, I respect you and I love you. and I wish you the best. And honestly, like, you seem like a chipper, dapper guy in this photo. So,
Yeah.
right on. And he has a nice watch.
Yeah.
But Scott has objectively a better watch.
You have a nice watch. Can I see it?
He's just got a nice watch. You can tell because he has more money. Oh my God. I feel so bad for them.
All right, pause just a second. I have to pee.
All right, we're going to take a little break, and we will, that's a perfect time for a commercial break, and we will be back with you shortly on the Two Gays Walking Bar YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. Are you a massive piece of shit?
Some might say.
Some might say. I would say. Well, that means that you are the prime audience for the Two Gays Walking a Bar podcast and the Two Gays Walking a Bar YouTube channel. It's fun. Did you know that?
It's fun.
It's entertaining.
It's entertaining.
And it's educational.
Educational.
At the very cusp of it all, not only is it the best podcast known to man, but it is also educational. Like, you can learn something. So, do yourself a motherfucking favor and subscribe.
Subscribe.
To the Two Gays Walking a Bar YouTube channel.
To that Two Gays Walking a Bar.
Word. Hello, this is Tristan from the Two Gays Walking a Bar podcast. Just letting you know that if you want to support the show further, you can check out doodledoodles.com. Here I have lots of t-shirts with my own personal designs. I have a catalog of my art, and I have mugs available as well. I'm adding designs all the time. It's a really fun pastime for me, but if you want to use it as a way to support the show, that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. All right. And we're back. All right. We're back, baby.
Hopefully you enjoyed your ads.
Hopefully you enjoyed the break. What we're looking at now is basically what would it take to go to Mars. Okay. We're going to talk about space travel from the moon and Mars alike. Basically, we're talking about the moon landing, okay? And not from the angle of, oh, it's a conspiracy. We're coming at it from it actually happened. Because, evidence does suggest it probably happened. But we probably should touch on it, what the conspiracy is. But I could see us covering it in like a conspiracy-dedicated episode. But essentially, there's a conspiracy that the moon landing was faked by NASA.
I mean, I have actually seen a few things that have kind of made it seem like it didn't happen.
Yeah, what do you think?
One is the boot shape that was the first landing on the moon was like the boot print wasn't the same shape and pattern as the actual boot because they put that boot in a museum.
Maybe there's a reasonable explanation. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a conspiracy episode. But for this episode, we're just going to assume that that shit happened. And, there's a good chance that it did. I mean, it's not impossible.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so what we're looking at here is the Bonneville Crater on Mars. Now, why are we talking about Mars first? Because we are going to briefly touch on Mars, and then it's going to relate to the moon landing, and then the moon landing is going to bring us back to Mars just for a nice, complete, well-rounded picture of space travel by humans. Okay, so what would it take to go to Mars? A 3-year ride in a space capsule, for one.
Wow.
It's 3 days for the moon, 3 years for Mars.
So you could get a freaking associate's degree in whatever subject you want before you even get to Mars.
Well, you couldn't, but somebody could.
Was that a crack?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just fucking playing around. I'm just trying to vamp, I'm just trying to fucking make it
Was that
make it
shade?
fun. That may have been a small amount of shade, yes. But I mean it with love. Peace and love, of course.
Just because it's taken me over 3 years to get this 2-year degree doesn't mean that I'm a stupid person.
You're not a stupid person. Fucking some people, like, honestly, school kind of sucks dick anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Go to school, kids. Okay. We'd have to bring a lot with us, too, if we wanted to go to Mars. But it's not like Mars isn't without resources, like vast underground frozen oceans that we covered earlier, and minerals for building things. But now, why go to Mars? Why do you think one would want to go to Mars, PJ? Why do humans even want to go to Mars? Like who cares?
Because
Why
the
Mars?
Earth is like depleting, and like could actually
Yes, that could be a reason. I mean, I think there's like it's gonna take a long time for Earth to completely run out, and we're looking at Mars, this barren ass wasteland for new life. But hopefully we can figure it out, and that's what scientists are trying to do.
Say moving to a planet or a barren
Just kind of like
land
reset.
would
Have a Wall-E situation.
Yeah, exactly.
We just instead of a giant spaceship hosting all humans, we just set up shop on Mars.
Yeah.
Now, but why? Like, there's that, but exploration. Like Lewis and Clark, like Christopher Columbus, like how we put men on the moon in 1969 was a giant leap for mankind. Putting men on Mars would be the same way. Mars also provides an ideal landscape for understanding the early history of the solar system and how small planets transform over time. Because Mars has went through a lot of changes. It was once totally wet. Now it's totally dry. Its climate has changed drastically over billions of years. Babe. It's changed very, very drastically. And we can learn a lot from it. All right, so now... That's your dad. That's JFK. This is his iconic "We choose to go to the moon" speech. September 12th, 1962. 40,000 people in attendance. Basically a call to action for the U.S. Get hyped because we're serious about this. We are going to go to the moon. Colonel R. Walter Cunningham, lunar module pilot of Apollo 7, in reference to the moon landing, said, 500 years from now, it's the only thing they're going to remember about the 20th century. Mars would be a similar milestone for humanity, I feel. And let's just go over some background on Apollo 11. The primary objective of Apollo 11 was to complete a national goal set by President John F. Kennedy in May 25th, 1961, perform a crewed lunar landing and return to Earth. Now, of course, the optimist in me wants to say that this is about exploration, being a pioneer, a scientific endeavor, but it was mostly political. In fact, it was all political. Both the U.S. and the USSR, Soviet Union, had declared their plans to launch a satellite, but the Soviets did it first. After Sputnik...
Soviets, Russia, we do everything first.
I mean, they fucking did in this case. Like, they basically showed to the rest of the world that America's global dominance could be challenged. And we collectively as a country were like, we can't fucking have that.
Yeah.
We can't be shown up like that. But really, at first, Eisenhower didn't really give a shit, and Kennedy didn't either when he came in. In fact, it's actually documented, him saying, we didn't really care much about space. Yeah, but... what made them start to care about space was when the Soviet pilot Yuri Gagarin became the first human being in space on April 12th, 61. Kennedy began to change his mind about the importance of space then, because they were like, whoa, they're sending dudes up there? Holy shit, we are way behind. That kind of lit a fire up his ass, and that's where this comes from. That's basically where the moon landing, that's basically why it happened. Kennedy began to change his mind about the importance of space and implored his advisors to find something which promises dramatic results in which we could win. So, the Apollo missions were more about American superiority. How about that? Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
Catch me outside,
let's look at the dudes that were on the Apollo spacecraft. We have Neil Armstrong, Mike Collins, and good old Buzz Aldrin, the inspiration for Buzz Lightyear. They kept a very professional relationship. Basically, how Mike Collins looks in this picture, all stern and serious, that's how he was. He even rebuffed Aldrin's attempts for a more personal relationship. So it was kind of just kind of cold on the Apollo 11 spacecraft, unfortunately.
Oof.
They were kind of just all business, but I feel like you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
If you're going out into space.
Yeah, so you're going into space. There's not really a whole lot of room for fucking around.
So, like, you really don't want to take that shit serious, or, like, no, you want to take that shit seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the mission itself. Apollo 11 launched from Cape Kennedy on July 16th, 1969, okay? And this is the launch right here. This is a photo of it. To 1 million spectators watching on the highway around. Just a million people gathered to watch this. And this is actually really interesting. This is the Saturn V, and it packed 75 million pounds of thrust.
Wow.
And could shoot the astronauts at a velocity of up to 25,000 miles per hour. It contained nearly 1 million gallons of kerosene, liquid oxygen, and liquid hydrogen. If the Saturn V, which is the whole rocket itself, it has 3 stages. If it were to blow up on or near the launch pad, it would have had the force of a small nuclear weapon.
Damn.
After firing and jettisoning off 2 of its 3 engines, it entered Earth's orbit at nearly 120 miles above the surface. After one swing around the planet, the 3rd stage J-2 rocket ignited, hurling the Apollo astronauts out of near-Earth orbit and on a trajectory towards the moon. 4 days and 242,000 miles later, on July 20th, we land on the moon.
Heck yeah.
Collins stayed in orbit inside the Columbia, and that's the command and service module, and Aldrin and Armstrong descended in Eagle, the lunar module.
Caw.
With the now this is actually kind of good old juicy stuff here, nice and dramatic. With the auto landing program failing, Armstrong took over controls manually, and within 30 seconds of fuel remaining, warning alarms blaring, it's going beep beep beep. Fucking mission controls freaking out. He brought the Eagle to a gentle rest on the moon's surface. As he stepped off the ladder onto the lunar surface, Armstrong famously radioed back to Earth, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." And Armstrong did actually say "a man."
Oh, wow.
But most heard "one small step for man." Aldrin followed Armstrong down the ladder. The 2 men spent the next 2 hours taking photographs, recording their impressions of the landscape, collecting rocks and soil samples. They left behind some things. The commemorative medallions bearing the names of 3 Apollo 1 astronauts who lost their lives in a launch pad fire, and 2 cosmonauts who also died in accidents were left on the moon's surface. That's very awesome.
Thank you.
That's how. That wouldn't be bad.
It's pretty respectable.
Like where do you want to be buried? Can I just have a memorial on the moon?
Right? That'd be fucking
Sick,
awesome.
dude. Fucking man on the moon. Hey, that's me up there. Or at least dead me. If I could be buried up there, that'd be even more epic.
Scatter the ashes.
Dude, scatter the ashes over the moon's surface. Yes. Now, this is actually really interesting and actually kind of wholesome in a way. A 1.5-inch silicone disc containing micro-miniaturized goodwill messages from 73 countries and the names of congressional and NASA leaders also stay behind. Armstrong and Aldrin spent 21 hours, 36 minutes on the moon's surface. So they didn't really spend that long. Just 21 hours. After a rest period that included 7 hours of sleep and a meal, so 21 of those hours were sleeping, or no, 7 of the 21 were sleeping, it was time for them to rejoin Collins, who was still in orbit, and the CSM into lunar orbit, and actually combine the lunar module and the CSM back. So it's kind of shitty for Mike Collins. He was not able to go on the moon. He had to stay in orbit.
I would have been pissed.
Kind of an important job, but man, I hope he got compensated for that.
I would have been like, why am I not one of the ones that get to actually go on the moon?
Yeah, if he fucking get all pouty about it.
I wanted to go on the moon.
Dude, that's why he was so stern in that photo.
Ooh, the tea.
That's why he was so stern, because he was really pissed that he couldn't go on the moon with Armstrong and Aldrin. Like, I don't want to go on the moon.
Throwing a fit.
But he had an important job. He stayed in orbit with the guys. He's basically their way to get out. So much love to Mike Collins for fucking helping out with that.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: rejoining them in orbit was very tricky. Okay, it was really hard. Armstrong was a very, very seasoned pilot. He is dead. So is Collins. Aldrin is still alive. Wait, is Mike Collins dead? I don't know. He's not really as famous as Aldrin and Armstrong are. right? Like you've heard the name Buzz Aldrin, right?
Yeah.
You've heard Neil Armstrong, of course.
I don't think I've ever heard of. I mean, I think I might have heard.
It also doesn't
I think
help.
I might have heard of Michael Collins, but
It's just a generic name. Also, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. You know, Michael Collins. Like that sounds like any old Joe Schmo on the street could have that name.
Joe Schmo.
It's kind of unfortunate. That's probably why they kept him up in the things, because they had a lame name. Like, we don't want Mike Collins to be the first one to step on the moon.
Your name sucks. You don't get to go on the moon.
They had like a vote, like who had the better name, Armstrong or Aldrin.
Oh my god.
Actually, Armstrong was able to step on there because he was the commander of the mission, so he kind of got first dibs. So
Yeah.
Armstrong was the first on the moon, Aldrin was the second.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. Now, actually, joining the lunar module to the command and service module was a very tricky maneuver. Neil was able to pull it off, but the prospect of Armstrong and Aldrin being stranded on the moon was real enough that Nixon had a condolence speech prepared. Like, he was ready for these fuckers to die up there. Like
I mean, you gotta be prepared.
he had a speech at the ready, and it actually began. Fate has ordained that the men who went to the moon to explore in peace will stay on the moon to rest in peace.
Wow.
And that concludes the best Richard Nixon impression that you have ever seen.
You forgot the
So Armstrong, being the pilot, the epic pilot he was, the crew reunited and set course for home. The Apollo mission concluded exactly 8 days, 3 hours, 18 minutes, and 35 seconds after launch, with a splashdown landing in the Pacific Ocean, about 800 miles off the coast of Hawaii.
Heck yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mary.
And after that, they had to be quarantined for a while, so they actually weren't able to see their families for a few weeks after, just because they had to make sure they didn't have any, like, I don't know, moon AIDS on them, or like whatever they were afraid of contracting. Moon AIDS, the worst kind of AIDS.
Oh no.
It's even worse than super AIDS.
Not only AIDS, but moon AIDS.
That's the worst fate I can imagine, is having moon AIDS. Oh my god.
The only way you can get moon AIDS is get with the moon bitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with them moon bitches. What does a moon bitch look like?
I don't know. I've never been on the moon.
I guess that's a fair point. I didn't think of it that way. You're right. Silly of me to even ask. Of course you never been on the moon. How would you know?
What happens on the moon stays in my anus. I meant Uranus. God.
And okay, well, which is it? Mine or yours?
What?
You
I was
said,
talking about the planet.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got a dirty mind. I can't help it.
Yeah, you fucking degenerate.
I'm such an asshole, dude. I can't believe I always take it there. Oh my god.
Hey, that's what she said.
While the lunar mission took 8 days in all, a Mars mission would take 3 years just to get there. The next planet beyond Earth, the minimum distance from Earth to Mars based on orbit, is 33.9 million miles. That's a heavy difference compared to the 242,000 mile difference that the moon is to Earth.
Yeah.
33.9 million. And that's just the minimum distance. It's mostly way more than that, around 50. That's just like at a certain time of, I don't know, like Mars's year or whatever. It's that close to Earth. So we'd be lucky. The possibility of humans on Mars poses its own challenges, obviously. Despite the fact that Mars may once have been warm and wet, it is now a cold, dry, barren place. Same. The atmosphere is thin and mainly carbon dioxide, some water vapor. Ultraviolet and other forms of intense radiation bathe the surface because Mars has a thin atmosphere and no active magnetic field to protect it. So basically, being on Mars, like, you're going to get radiation poisoning.
Oh.
The gravity on the surface is a third of that of Earth, too. So you'll be bouncing around similar to how you would on the moon, which is pretty fun. You know? Bouncing a little bit more than the moon because the moon is a little closer. I think, or maybe just cut that out because I might be totally fucking wrong. I ain't gonna cut that shit out. Fuck that. There are many things we don't yet know about Mars, obviously, or don't know very well. NASA, though, has plans. We have plans, people. NASA is preparing for the possibility of human exploration.
That would be so cool.
That would be sick. The Mars exploration program currently has 5 operating missions at Mars to help address these questions. Additionally, other countries and space agencies, SpaceX, anyone, have missions at Mars right now too. In July 2020, NASA launched the Perseverance rover and is set to land in February 2021. So very soon. This rover that we're viewing right here, it's the size of a car.
Wow.
It's already been sent to Mars as of July 2020, and it should arrive there soon. Not only do we plan on setting foot on the Mars, we're also looking to return to the moon.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
NASA has big plans, and this actually concludes my presentation tonight.
Oh.
But I'm just going to kind of share with you the plans that NASA has. 24 men in total have been to the moon, and not one has been since 1972.
Yeah.
NASA, collaborating with space research institutions all over the world, including SpaceX, have launched the Artemis Plan, which intends on landing the first woman and next man on the moon in 2024. They want to stay several years in orbit and on the surface. So they just don't want to spend a day there, less than a day.
Yeah.
They want to stay there for years, actually doing extensive research, more than they've ever done, really getting a good understanding, probably on those peaks of eternal light, like we mentioned earlier. And this is a quote from NASA. Like, I actually looked at their Artemis plan. It's like a 40-page PDF. I took a look at it, and this is like a quote from NASA. The sooner we get to the moon, the sooner we get American astronauts to Mars. They have a big focus on them being American, which is fine. Fucking USA, you know what I'm saying? It'll cost a budget of an estimated $28 billion. I think it's worth it. I think we should do more space shit.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We definitely need more space exploration.
Just like
we need to know.
It may not be
more
the most
about what's out
practical
there.
because, I mean, it might end up not even being like totally useful at all. Having that ability just to know more about space, but I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with just increasing human knowledge? Like, that's
Knowledge
why.
and awareness.
Yeah, that's why we are at where we're at
Yeah.
right now as a species. Is just the endeavor to gain more knowledge and wisdom about life, and that's where we're at right now. And I think we should continue the search for knowledge and extend it beyond the planet. So let's get another like political rally behind space. Like, let's get hyped about space.
Yeah.
You know, Elon Musk is kind of doing that a little bit with SpaceX. You know, he they are constructing the spaceship that is designed to be able to go to the moon and stay there and come back safely, and that's what they're helping do. I think they're naming it Starship. I think so. And SpaceX actually has a lot of things in the works, but Artemis is not only collabing with SpaceX, but internationally. So space institutions all over the world are all joining with NASA, and people are getting hype about the moon and about Mars, and I want to see more of it. You know,
I would love to be a part of I would love to be able to be like, hold on. I would love to be able to actually watch a moon landing like live and not be a part of like, it's just history. Like, I want to be able to see it.
Fake or not, Apollo 11 meant a lot to humanity.
Yeah.
Like, people would sit on their televisions. They would bring their tables into the living room, which was weird for those days, and they would watch the program, and grown men would cry, and
well, I mean, it's a lot to. It
was a big step for mankind. It really was.
Honestly, the moon landing the first American moon landing definitely meant a lot to us. So
Yeah, yeah. And people just do nothing but tarnish its memory.
which is why it's so like shocking sometimes, hearing that it actually possibly could have been faked. But
It is also marveling, though,
yeah.
to think that, like, if it did happen, the ability to advance technologically like that fast, to go all the way to the moon.
Yeah.
Like, he made plans for that in 61, that by the end of the decade they were going to make it, and they squeezed it in at 69. And they were able to go through all that technological advancements in that short amount of time, in a decade, get all the way to the moon,
right?
collect samples, come back safely.
That'd be
What the fuck? To the moon?
It's insane.
In space?
There's definitely a good reason to question it, but I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
That more deeper explanation.
It does seem unbelievable. Like, I don't knock people who find it hard to believe, because it is, like, in 69, like, we didn't have Bluetooth headphones, but we can go to the moon. Like,
yeah, right. We didn't have the iPhone, but we can go to the moon.
television quality was still fuzzy, but we could go to the moon.
Yeah.
Like, I know the next president.
It seems like it would make more sense, like now, like in like the next few years, to be able to go to the moon, because technology has advanced so much.
Yeah. And I know the president after Kennedy, I think it was Lyndon Johnson, I think. I know he used the moon, and he used it politically to further his like, agenda to help people. Like, if we could go to the moon, we should be able to feed the poor. Like, that was a big part of his campaigns, and it's just impacted culture so much, to the point where there's a massive conspiracy theory that Stanley Kubrick, did I mention that? The conspiracy, just to kind of make it clear to those who may not know, it's a pretty famous conspiracy, obviously, but basically, some of the major thinking behind it is that the moon landing was fake, and that NASA enlisted our homeboy Stanley Kubrick to film the moon landing, and people think that he put a little Easter egg in The Shining, when the little boy in The Shining in a scene is wearing a sweater that has an Apollo 11 design on it.
Oh.
Yeah, so people think that that's like a clue that Stanley Kubrick was trying to tell the world that he helped to fake the moon landing.
That would definitely be a very fun topic to expand upon, like on a conspiracy episode.
Yeah, talk about the nuts that believe that shit.
Yeah.
Or there could actually be something to it. Who knows? And like in my research, or your research, whoever does the episode, in our research for trying to find out more about that, maybe we could be swayed ourselves.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, I plan on learning with this podcast just as much as I want the viewers to learn.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be learning.
I learned some things doing my research for this episode, and I'm going to learn when he presents. And I just hope that you guys get the same amount of satisfaction that we get out of it. And it's not perfect right now, and it won't be perfect for a while. We're both new at this.
We're just getting started. It's only our first episode. Don't be rude.
Like, we're just getting started, but honestly, like, we just have such a huge fire under our ass to really just pump out content and just make it the best we can, and we're only gonna get better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, this is like I said, this is only the first episode. We'll definitely get better after an episode,
and that's wild because we're fucking perfect now. We're gonna get better from perfect, bruh.
Right.
That's crazy. All right. So I think that basically concludes the episode. What do you say we wrap this shit up? Socials? Yeah.
All right. First, on our socials, you could follow us or like us on Facebook at 2gays_WIAB, which stands for 2 gays walk into a bar. And it's also the same on Instagram.
Or just search 2 gays.
Yeah.
Two Gays Walk in a Bar. Just search us on Facebook or Instagram and follow us.
We also have a Twitter page, which is very slowly growing, which is also 2gays_WIAB.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and give that a look. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, of course. We're going to be on Spotify, iTunes.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our personal social medias.
Yeah, sure. If you want to follow me and my dumbass, and PJ's dumbass.
My Instagram is WTF.is.a.pj. What the fuck is a PJ?
What the fuck is a PJ?
Honestly.
And mine is just Tristan.Dean with 2 E's if you want to give me a follow. And also doodledoodles.com if you want to pick up a shirt or a mug. It'll really help to support the show. It's what we've been drinking out of all night. I have the nice rainbow farting unicorn mug.
And I have a lily.
And yeah, buying one would surely go a long way, but what goes even further way is just your viewership, and we very much appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
And all right, I think that's it. Are we ready to? What do you say we boogie?
Let's boogie on out of here.
Let's boogie. All right, bye, you guys. Thank you.
Bye.